All right, we are up. We're up. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to another feature of Dollars and Cents. Where we talk about all things relating to finances and how we can improve as individuals, as a families, and definitely as a community. Shout outs to Keisha Johnson, our mortgage broker here, aka KJ, right? Um, One of the individuals that has been on here driving our platform and keeping the community informed and
Hello.
involved. Also, shout outs to Billy Jane. She's trying to connect here, but it's okay. She'll get on when she gets the chance. Shout outs to Wade as well, who hops in here every now and then to sort of round off our team. We have a special guest with us today. Of course, well, before I get to our special guest here, just remind you, we are on Facebook, of course, and YouTube. Dollars and cents. Just hit us up, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook. All right. In terms of our guest today, I am going to just do something real quick and then I'll introduce our guest here. Let me go. I
Let's
should have
share.
done
Let's
this.
share.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I should have done it before. I normally do it. So let's share it. I'm sharing it to my social media platform here. All right, there we go. Okay, so we have with us today our guest. Our guest is Mr. Richard Addo-Kessie. Is a
Yes.
performance coach. He's dedicated to turning on the energy switch within people to realize their true potential through using the principles of the map book. Richard has a passion for providing platforms of wealth creation that provide an outreach, expansion of love. Richard is also a real estate broker, and that's a big deal right now. In terms of all things happening, whether it's in Canada or the United States, right? He specializes in teaching families how to create generational wealth through real estate. His social media, Richie Realty
Realty. Yeah.
at Gmail gmail.com. I'll have it. I'll put it so that individuals will be able to connect with you by email. And if there are any other social media platforms that you have, we'll definitely clear it. Okay, here comes
Yeah.
Billy. Give me one.
Lily's in the backstage. Yeah.
Yay! Hey,
Hello.
Billy.
Hey, finally success.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I love
Yes.
seeing
Hello,
these
Billy
different
Jean.
colors.
How are you?
Pardon?
No, I said
Pardon?
I like seeing these different settings here. I love it. I love it.
Constantly on the go. 1 minute in the home office, then in the remote office in the car, then another remote office in the library.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Gotta keep it going. Gotta
Yeah,
keep it going.
for sure.
So I'm
Yeah.
so excited for our guest today, Richard.
Yes. Hello. Hello. Thanks for
Hello.
having me. I
Welcome.
appreciate you guys.
He's
Appreciate
Awesome.
eager to
you
go because
accepting.
he was sharing some things with us in the room there before we went on,
Yeah.
right? Uh, about the map book that he has there, explaining to us, explaining to Keisha and myself the concepts of that, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
so which one are we gonna start on the real estate broker end first and then go to that one, and or maybe that's what we'll do.
If that's what you want to do, let's
Yeah,
see how it
let's
flows,
Yeah.
right?
let's
Let's
do
hear this.
that. Let's just
All right.
let's do that.
So Keisha and
So
Billy,
lots
go
of
ahead.
stuff going on, man. Like lots of stuff going on within the whole real estate space. I mean, I know that the government just announced higher rates,
Rate
right?
increase. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, and even just like, I mean, I was actually out, helping somebody with her campaign. I'm hoping everyone's going to go out and vote.
I voted already. I voted already.
Thank you. We need to go out and vote. KP, we are
I'm
in
out of the
provincial
loop.
elections right now.
Actually, can you should be able to, right? I mean, international voting,
I
right?
don't know. You know, I didn't even take the opportunity to look into it.
Come on, you can't leave.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
I can't
He
believe
has
I'm missing.
forgotten us.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So Dougie Fresh. I call him Dougie Fresh. So Dougie Fresh is up.
He
It's his
is.
time now.
They're saying the polls are saying that he may be reelected again with a majority. So.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what they're saying, but we'll have to see what happens. But you know, just sort of even thinking about that, because I just came from that, and you know, that was on my mind. Just the whole climate around housing, affordable housing. It was a big thing that they were talking about. So I'd love to just talk about one, you know, the interest rates and you know, what you're seeing that's happened in the marketplace so far as the government's been increasing the rates, and what do you see happening? And then also, I'm curious to know, like, your thoughts on what the situation looks like, you know, with our whole political climate, right? So
yeah, I want to very quickly touch on the interest rate. You know, everyone's kind of running around almost like, you know, chicken with the head off, and you know, completely understand it. But we also have to understand as well that rates, these rates are not foreign, right? I mean, back in even 2018, we were, you know, we were around, you know, these type of rates. I went into when I renewed my mortgage, a variable of around 4.5, right, in that time bracket. So what's foreign is the values of the purchases, right? So when we put $800,000, $900,000 type of mortgage against a 4% type of interest rate, and you're looking at you know, in that bracket of, you know, 4,000 a month, that is what is foreign, because we're used to those values of 400,000. You know, in that bracket there. So that is what the concern is, and hence why, you know, the stress test went into play to kind of hopefully safeguard, you know, to some degree. But these rates aren't foreign, you know, it's not new.
yeah,
right?
but I think people are thinking from the context of the value of properties, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we got to give the next generation a chance to buy it too.
That's the thing. That's what I'm thinking.
That's the problem.
For our kids to be able to crack this, you know,
exactly. Like, and even if it's not the kids, as you know, in terms of generational wealth, I encourage, you know, current homeowners, you know, to use the equity in your home and go get money, right? And right now is the time you need to go get money. Right, because there's going to be they have many different rate announcements. They have another one in July, right, and it shows the trend that they're moving towards right now. So there's going to be another interest increase as well, right? And they're going incremental, you know, to pretty much let you know, okay, this is what's happening. So now you got to position yourself, right? So what I suggest, you know, if you own a property right now and you have equity in your home, then go get some of that money. Go get it. Right, and right now start looking for opportunities, because you know the housing market, the prices are getting a little lower. You know, the bidding wars are starting to go away. There are still some bidding wars.
They're still there,
for nice houses. You know, but the prices, there's more negotiations happening. You know, so that's good. You know, we want the prices to, you know, correct a little bit. You know, so that, you know, more people could get in. Yeah. But with you knowing that, you know, you could either be on the side of, oh, they're going up, oh, I'm panicking, or you could be on, okay, the prices are going up. How do I position myself well, right? And that's how you're going to position yourself well, by right now get in contact with Keisha, you know, and go refinance, or even for people older, over 60, you know, look into a reverse mortgage, right? And go and get some money. Go get money. And, you know, go look and go buy some real estate. You know, right now you got to go and pick something up, because you're obviously going to be in a term thing, so you'll be about, you know, 3 to 5 years. So you could still hold a decent rate for that time period, but at least now you have a next property, right? And if you have a current property, that's good, right? So then your next one, you can use it as a rental income property. If you have kids in there, hey, have them pay rent. But you could do like a rent to own with your kids, right? You know, a rent to own program with your kids. Because right now it's not as common, but you could do it with your kids, right? And at the same time, they could even pay you a little extra windfall. Why not? You know, so everyone wins, Yeah. But yeah, that's I want to put that out there, so it's all about the perspective that you view it, and
Yeah.
that's everything, that's a law of polarity, right? So
Yeah.
when we have to look at, okay, this is happening, how do we position it so that we can be in the advantage part of this situation, right?
Right. Right. Question for you. There's been a shift in the market, as we know, right? Since around February is when we started this little shift here of a dip in purchase values.
Keisha.
What would you say? Am I mute?
Mm-mm.
No, we
No,
can hear you.
are you hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. What?
No,
What
I
would
just
you?
can I share an article just
Yeah, for sure.
just
Yeah.
a visual aid here in terms of
Oh,
what
yeah.
you guys were talking
For
about,
sure.
and then
Keisha, finish your point though. Finish your point though. Because you were going in, I was zoned
Okay.
in. If you don't mind, catching, finish your point though.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what advice would you give to those who have purchased a property and there has been a dip where even if the value has come in less, the appraisal has come in less, what hope can you give them in the sense of recapturing that value over time? Because historically we know that with real estate over time that value increases, but for someone who's in a situation where they kind of feel that they bought a property that's not worth the value, now they got to scramble to figure things out. But that thought process of, oh my goodness, like my property's actually worth this and I'm paying this. What advice would you give that type of a client, for them to feel some sort of what's the word I'm looking for, some sort of security, or a mindset that I'm still in the position, to still get some equity back into my home, or to to kind of make sure that I'm not at a loss here. What would you say to that?
Yeah, so with real estate, we see the trends in the past, right? They go up and down, but they go on an upward swing, So if it goes down, it's gonna go higher than it was before, right? It's gonna go up like this. So even though you're in a dip, it's eventually gonna go up, right? But if you can, what I suggest at all my clients is see how you can make an opportunity of making an additional door. All right. So have a rental property. Your basement's there. Yes, it could be playtime, but why not have it as an income property? Get a room down there, set it up, get your kitchen, go the legal route, so it's safe and everything like that. But the government wants you to make those. Like right now, there's even a program where they'll give you money so that you can make a basement apartment, right? But you could do it yourself and get some cash flow, because if you get some rental income on top of that, that's that extra income that will help pay your mortgage for the time being. So it's not really, you don't really feel the effect of it, right? So live upstairs, rent the basement. Think of how you can make it, how you could get some cash flow from it, so that you can leverage from it, and then over the next 5 years or so, you're gonna see, it's gonna be higher than what you bought it for. But yes, thank you, Kenton. Appreciate that if you could go to your video, and I just halfway through, I wanted her to finish it off.
Yeah, no worries. It's not a video. It's actually the article, because you guys were talking about the interest rate and all that. I pulled up an article from Bank of Canada, the release, just so that folks can get an
As
idea.
you pull that up, KP, Richard, what was that program you were talking about? I think that would be really insightful.
Right, yeah, for those
who want to, who are considering putting in a basement apartment, and that there's some government support for that.
Yeah. So the government, it's actually, you have to go through the city website, right? And then you could it's like a grant for a second dwelling. So for you to do additional thing, you just apply. So whatever city you're with, it's municipal. It's a municipal grant that's given, and how it works is that they will give you the money to finish your basement, although you have to take the tenants that they select. Right, and then the rate is the rate is a little less.
KP.
There's always a catch in the government.
Is there a time span where, in terms of accept, or is it bottom line, we did this, we need to occupy this with our people?
Yeah, exactly. They because they need housing right now. There's a long waiting list for affordable housing, right? So the rate that you get is even less as well. the rate that you get. Like, so say right now say you had a 1-bedroom basement apartment, right? They'll give you like 30 grand to do it, but that 30 grand again obviously goes onto your house, right? So it goes onto your house. So if you plan to sell it, they're gonna take that
right.
But it's there, and from there the rent regular, if you were to do it yourself, right, it would probably, you'll get around maybe 1,500 for a 1-bedroom. But if they do it and you select their tenants, they pay around 9 something. So it's like about $400 to $500 less, but they're gonna finish your basement.
But they funded your basement.
Exactly. There's a lot of people right now that just have empty basements, right? And if you think about that basement, you could be having it as an income. So why not?
How long are you committed to that program? Like how long do you have to?
Right.
I don't know the exact term. I'll go on the city website to find out the term, but there is a term that they have. I think it may be 10 years. And then, or let's, it's a new program that they brought in, but maybe even if you pay off that, if you pay it off, maybe then, then you could go back to your thing. But the tenants and knowing the landlord-tenant laws and how they're set up is, if your tenant's in there and they're paying, you can't really go and tell them they got to leave and then put in a new tenant. That tenant has to want to leave, right? But if they get affordable housing and they like the space, they're more than likely going to stay there for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So just knowing your options. A lot of people
I think it's just to get informed, right?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what it is, right? It may work for one and it may not work for the other. The key here is information, right? Yeah.
As we said, bringing sense.
That's a good way to balance it, because as you listen, I mean, if anything, the pandemic has taught us, like, the government, they will come in with all types of fancy things, but there is always a catch to it.
There's
right?
always a catch.
You have somebody living in there. The government is sponsoring this thing, right? There is a sense of entitlement and ownership. So it may work for some people. They may start damaging your place. Well, I ain't going anywhere. Then you get into the whole connecting with the government in order to try to sort this thing out. But
it's the same thing with the down payment assistance that the government have, where you bring 5%. At existing property, you bring 5, government brings 5. With a new build, you bring 5, government brings 10. So I think it's 20 years you have to pay it off, right? But of course, when you're paying that back, it's subject to the value of the property at that time. So you're paying 5% of what that value is at the time that you're paying it back. Or
the government's also getting benefit of appreciation. Well, listen, as a taxpayer, right? Because we are taxpayers, we are helping to fund it. So, it does make sense to participate in the growth of that property because we've helped made it happen, right? So anyway, no, this is very interesting. So let's see that article, KP. Sorry.
Well, okay. Let me bring it up. I don't know if it's because it's what you guys were dealing with earlier. I just wanted to give like
what we're always dealing with.
Exactly.
Where is this? Here
that's very interesting as you pull it up, because there's all the discussion about affordable housing, right? So that's interesting to know that there's that program in place as one avenue that
very good.
The municipalities are trying to provide more for.
I don't know why my computer is just moving slow today. I'm not too sure what's going on, but I'm trying to share this thing. Normally it's just real quick,
just
right?
Pops up,
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, let's just keep talking until it comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the article. So you guys were talking about the increase, right? This see there, June 1st, right here, and the percentage here. All right. These are the things that people, they hear about these things, but they don't understand. And then of course it deals with it from a global standpoint in terms of what we're dealing with. It's also mentioned in here the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. Basically, the article is suggesting that it's not just unique to Canada, but what we're seeing is connected to everything else that's happening around the world. So that's pretty much what the article. The title is Bank of Canada policies interest rate by 50 basis points.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, and I mean it's discussing inflation, right? Which is another big thing, right? That a lot of people are concerned about as we drive past the gas stations, right? So all of that also gets built into rates, right? Inflation
Yep.
is something that does get built into interest rates. So yeah,
yeah, so that was it.
interesting.
That was
Thanks
it.
for the share.
I put it in the, yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. If anyone wants to look that up, that's
yeah.
awesome.
What would you say, Richard, at this stage, the market that we're in, for someone who's looking to purchase right now, what would be the key advice that you can provide to them, in this current market that we're in right now to help them to get into a home?
Yeah, so I think it's pretty much same as it's always been. The only thing is now that we see the resale market going, the prices coming down a bit. Then I highly suggest to look into resale. I do a lot of pre-construction, right?
Mhm.
And pre-construction is good. It's good. The only thing is with developers, their labor costs are up, materials are up,
Mhm.
everything's up. So for they have to sell at the price they're selling at, which is the numbers which we've been seeing, right? People
Mhm.
still buy for them, which is great, but right now you could get a deal on a resale. You can get a deal on resale, right? And that's what I'm saying. Reach out to me, because right now I'm actively looking, with my clients, because now's the time when you should be looking. Of course, it's a time when most people are kind of like, oh, panicking, oh, the rates going up, going up. That's the time when you want to look. That's the time when you want to look, and just keep your eye open, look for a good opportunity, right? For generational wealth, you look for some properties that have good potential of cash flowing, right? So, can you make 2 units out of there, right? If you can make 2 units, that's ideal. That's the main thing you want to look for. Can I make more? Can I have more than one door
Can you
here,
double
right?
up? Yep. Hmm.
Right, and then set it up, and then even when you do that too, that cash flow is big. Keisha would tell you, mortgage broker, that they're your best friends. Once you have a cash flowing property, now your income's up.
Right.
So and you go get more money, you could go get
Yeah.
more money, right? So just it's strategic, but resale is where you're gonna find most of the deals, so just keep your eye on resale right now. And negotiations are coming back, which is really good, right? So we can negotiate good numbers for you, right? The best numbers you can, but of course we do our number checks. We make sure we do the math so
Yeah.
that you know what you're getting into, right?
Right.
And then with that too, also, although the basis points and the rates are going up, the banks also have their minuses, right? And me talking to I talked to a few bank people that I deal with as well when it comes to funding with stuff, and that's what they said on the insides. They're talking about increasing their primes, right? So if they have like a prime minus 1.3, maybe a prime minus 20 now, right? So even though the rate has gone up, the banks are kind of doing something so that you can still get a decent rate, like it's not going to be outrageous. Like they're doing something on their end too, right? Everyone's trying their best to like make it workable, right? So like no one's doing it, so everything just stops. We over here we do have a thriving economy. There's a lot of big companies are coming over, in the GTA area. But yeah, like so that's what's happening. Like, but again, I would say resale and also condos, right? Because that's what's happening now. Now, in the GTA area, they're focusing on high density, right? Because that if for the land you see, if the land you're not getting the same land if you get a house, right? You're getting a small backyard, and then now even they got to go more dense because so many people want to move here. So they got to start going up. They got to start building up. So you're going to see a lot of condos, coming on the market. So with the condos that are coming on the market, we got to look at some good opportunities there as well, right? And that money that we're getting right now, that we're going to Keisha for, right? We want to try to go in and get some down payments on these condos, lock some of this stuff up,
Mhm.
right? Because the plus thing with that too is that those condos are ready in 3 to 4 years, right?
Right,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
So
are mortgages too that will, oh, sorry, Billie Jane.
yeah, no, go ahead. You can.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are products as well that, you know, if you buy, if you go into a new build and a year has lapsed, where you can incorporate that down payment into the current value of that property when you're actually going in there, which will of course, you know, lessen your down payment. Another thing to consider as well when we're speaking about investment properties, you know, some individuals think, you know, there's absolutely no way that I can afford 2 homes, right? But what we have to understand is that, you know, that home takes care of itself, it's servicing itself, right? So, you know, if you have a renter in there, as long as your income, right, is sustaining, of course, your property, right, you're leveraging other people's money because someone's renting that out. And so as long as there's a bit of cash flow, or even if, let's just say, even, you know, if you're breaking even, right, that mortgage is being taken care of by the rent, right? So that's not going to affect your affordability, right? So that's something to think about. And hopefully, you know, you have a pretty decent mortgage payment and a, you know, a decent monthly rent where you have a little bit of cash flow, right? So these are things, you know, a lot of times for me, myself, I'll plug in the numbers. If a client has a home already, okay, let's plug in those numbers with that home. Let's now pull in, you know, that new potential investment property, right? With all the debts and everything like that. What's the estimated rental income? And we see what that affordability is. How much can they go on a new property, right? Or an investment property.
So can we talk a little bit numbers just to give some perspective? Like, you know, what is an average home, let's say let's say in the GTA, right? What's an average home going for? You know, what's an average condo going for? Like, just to give some people some frame of reference of, you know, what they're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're looking at condos right now, condos are starting in the 600s even, to be honest with you, like in terms of what you're looking to get. High fives, if anything, but 600s.
And is that like downtown Toronto? Like where are
you're
you
saying GTA, so I'm giving an average GTA. Downtown Toronto, you're looking at.
So that's not downtown Toronto. That is like, yes, okay, the outskirts.
I'm talking like, yeah. You know, if you're talking, I'm talking like average in terms of if you're talking Mississauga, Brampton, Vaughan, you know, even Oshawa, Pickering, all these sides. Like, in downtown, downtown it's going for a lot more. Like, with condos, it's like price per square foot, right? So yeah, Toronto, you're looking about $1,500 per square foot. You know, so you get 1,000 square foot units. It's, you know, like it's a lot, right? So yeah, like that's. Go ahead.
You know what this reminds me of? All the stories and the reports that we keep seeing about Hong Kong. It's Hong Kong, right? Where
they're small,
so hard.
units.
Yeah, these little small units for like exorbitant fees. So people literally.
Oh yeah, they have to mortgage over multiple generations. They pass the grandparent pass the mortgage to the child. You know, like.
That's what
some of these places have like 100-year mortgages.
Yeah. It just reminds me of that whole, you know, that whole situation. It seems I don't know. Maybe.
But that's the entry, you know. So that's the entry. You want to get in at the end of the day, regardless of what it is. Even if you want to go further out, you could go further out. Right? But you know, just in the GTA, that's just what it is. So, like, you know, even with the Black community, like, you know, that's something that I feel, you know, we need to come together more and, you know, and work with each other more and network more. That's why we have the Create Wealth Network, you know, but obviously that's for everybody. It's not just for the Black community, but it's just more of a mindset, because if you, let's say 600,000 a lot, but, you know, I may have, you know, 40,000 and somebody else may have 40,000 or whatever. Hey, boom, come, like, you know, like, let's get a property, right? Because other communities are doing that. They're coming together. They're getting properties together, right? And that's key, because, you know, like, at least now you still have ownership. You know, okay, maybe it's not full ownership yet, but let's say when it appreciates and it becomes more, you have more money that you can move, and then boom, maybe the next one you could get a solely or whatever, right? But at least it gets you in the game. You know, even if there's 4 partners or 5 partners, whatever you got to do, you know, just go get something. Get something. And then when you have property, then you leverage the property. You know, you leverage that property. right? So this is something that has been being done years. Like you look, you see Queen Elizabeth, she owns the most real estate in this world. You see what I'm saying? Back in the day, they used to war and stuff for land and all that. That's real estate, right? So now, we got to start thinking the same way. Okay, how are we going and how are we getting real estate? How are we getting more real estate? Right? And having that, regardless of what it is that you do, whatever it is that you do as a profession, you do your thing as a profession, but see how you can get in and get some real estate at the same time. Because right now, the prices are coming down, so it's a great opportunity. Once it gets within your range, or you make it in your range, you could keep saying, oh, it's so far, it's never gonna get done, I'm never gonna. But right now, it is a better chance you have now than you have in 10 years. So so that's it's just more looking at opportunities, right? I have an email a list, so if you go to preconpeel.com, so preconpeel.com, preconpeel.com, and for that I do a lot of pre-construction opportunities come out. I'll send it out to the email list, right, of new opportunities, VIP access. So that's like first access before public launch, right? You'll get them, and then you see something you like, get it, right? Get it, get something 20% down. Just put it, just go and scoop it up. There's a condo project that just launched called City Point Condos in Brampton. It's on the Gore Road and Highway 7. Right. And I was happy I was able to get some clients, some units there. Right. One of my clients got a 2-bedroom plus den. She paid like $860. Right. Which wait for the 2+ den. Right. But it's worth it because that location, that's in between Brampton and Vaughan. Vaughan has a TTC extension over there. Right. And so the cities are going to connect. And that's the thing right now. Like, if you said you wanted to get a little political or whatever, right? Well, that's one thing that I have a high interest for in terms of transportation, and building the economy and infrastructure, because like in the GTA, if you really look, it's very young. Like in Brampton, I live in Brampton. Brampton's very young. Like just north of me are farms, right? It's very, very young, so all this transportation matters, like, because that as people soon within the GTA in that dense area, people are going to be able to go there. But what if someone wants to live in like Shelburne, right, where it's deep and a lot of people don't want to live there because there's not really no transportation, like in terms of them wanting to go anywhere, they got to drive far to get somewhere, right? But if you have transportation that's close by, you're going to be able to have people populate over there, and the prices there are pretty decent, right?
Awesome.
I was looking while you were talking here. I was looking at we're talking about prices of places in Toronto. An article here, it says a Kitchener couple put in 12 separate house offers, and each time they were outbid by someone willing to pay more than $650,000.
Wow.
12? That's
discouraging.
The couple.
That's 12 is pretty minimal.
When did that happen, though? When did that happen? What's that article dated?
It's May the 30th this year. May the 30th. The
article
came out May the 30th.
Right.
Okay. May 30th.
Fairly recent. It's a couple of days.
Yeah. So right now, I'm just in the front lines. I'm seeing those numbers are going down. They are definitely going down. Right.
Yes, 100%,
Offers are going down as well. Like in terms of the offers on certain properties, right? Because you also have to see it like with the buying power being less too, right? And the banks are going there appraising, right? So if someone say let's say somebody goes and they buy a house for $1 million, and then the bank appraises at $800,000, then that extra $200,000 they have to come up with.
You have to come out of your pocket. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yes. You have to have that, right? So it's like if you're gonna pay $600 extra, then more than likely you have money available. More than likely they have a house already that they're gonna sell or something like that. Like they have money that's there, or they sold the house or whatever. Like if you're gonna pay that right now, before people do it, and after the banks, because they've seen the numbers are going up, they're appraising higher, right? Like in terms of the high over asking, like I'm seeing a lot less of that.
Yeah. And they're listing more now at what they actually want.
Exactly.
Not a listing to kind of
Right.
instigate a bidding.
Right.
Exactly.
To create the bidding wars, right?
So that's a great opportunity, for buyers and sellers, because the price that they're selling at are still good prices. They're still higher than they were last year, right? That the houses are selling at right now, right?
So that's important to know, because when people talk about property values coming down, when you think like year over year, they've still gone up in value.
Exactly.
And they will still go up as time.
It's like that escalator, but you've got a yo-yo as you're going up the escalator. It's still going up, right? No, this is good. This is good insight.
What for someone who's looking? What can someone expect? To working with you. What do you bring to the table, right?
Service. That's all I'm about. Service. I'm just out here to serve. I'm here doing God's work 100% of the day. Like I told you, I operate on universal laws. So my day is not just being a realtor. It's just going out in this world and serving. So even me being on this right now, you asked Billy, she told me about it yesterday, right? But I'm here to offer myself, because I'm here to serve.
No, he was and big thank you, right? But like, talk about being responsive, right? He's like, I told you I'd be, I told you I'd be there. And it's like, that is service, right? Being there to share information, right?
Yeah. So that's just everything I do. So with real estate, the same thing. Pardon? Go ahead.
Question, Richard. We're just running on. Keisha has to go soon. In terms of somebody, I saw this posted online recently. A person was leaving the United States and they're trying to settle in Toronto. They specifically said Toronto. I saw some of the commenters were saying, well, Canada is a big place. Are you sure about Toronto, type of thing? But aside from that, what kind of advice would you give to individuals who are trying to come in to Canada? The person was specifically is looking for housing, of course.
Right.
Yeah. So they're going to come live here and buy a house, or are they just looking to invest here? That's a difference.
No, I think they're coming to live. Let's just go with them trying to get a house or even renting. I don't know if you can live about renting, but they're coming to live. They're coming to live.
Coming to live, yeah. Oh, for sure. I think coming to Toronto to live is amazing opportunity. Like if you because there's so much opportunities that are here, right? And everyone's growing. So much more new opportunities are here. I just think it's so young, because when you go and you just really take a perspective and see where we're at. Like when you go down on Jane and Finch area and you see on the Finch line they have the LRT that's running, it's like, yo, like. Like that's serious. Like that's okay. So how long has it been there? Now they're doing that. So that just shows it's very young, So I just think there's so much opportunity, that's here. It's just about, we're in terms of living, even if you got to come here and you start renting, that's fine, go establish yourself, get yourself set up, established, and then, go and go get a first investment property. Or a property to live, but investment property is going to give you a little bit of a head start, right? A lot of people do that. They'll rent and they'll buy property, just won't live in it. They'll just go get a duplex, triplex, whatever, and then have different tenants in there. Then you get cash flow, start building that up. Right?
And if you do something like that, can you still take advantage of like first home buyer rules? I know, we're talking about the context of somebody coming from, another country to settle here.
Yeah, if they're coming here to buy, if they're coming here to buy, then they can take advantage of it. If it's investment property, then you have to pay like the full 20% and stuff like that. But if they're coming to buy for themselves, which they more than likely that first one may be, right? Then you could do it, but it all depends on your down payment. How much money do you have? So I don't know if you're going to be able to be in the core Toronto, but maybe you have to go a little bit on the outskirts. It depends. I'm saying if you or get a condo, go to get a condo, 1-bedroom condo. You need the money. That's the thing. So where is that person coming from, Kenton? Like, where was that person coming from?
I'm thinking, I thought I remember them saying it's from like, they're coming from Texas or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they I don't know if they had, I'm just saying, if they had money, then yeah, they're good to go. It's just that you need money to put money down to buy, you know. So
Right.
Wherever whatever you have, you know, then that's more where we can find out where you could be located, to be honest with you, because there's a price average in every area, right? So you know, that's what it all comes down to. But that's what I'm saying. Me, if you're like a newcomer, you know, into the country, right, then maybe your first option is to rent, right? And then you rent, you know, and then you start building, start building a real estate portfolio, right? And then you could be in a position to buy, or you could just save up and then, yeah, you know, use that 5% or 10% for the first time home buyers and get your first property that you want to live in. But you know, you gotta work your way up. You gotta work your way up, you know.
Yeah.
And you still have pride, like even right now, because to be honest with you, right now, a basement apartment, 1-bedroom basement apartment, like $1,500, right? So you know, some people are like, oh, I don't want to live in a basement, right? So they'll go and they may pay like, because if you want a condo, 1-bedroom condo, you're paying at least like $2,200-$2,300. Right. So, okay. So now you're because you want to be in a condo, you don't want to be in a basement, you're going to pay extra $400 or $500 a month. But if you sacrifice and you got that basement, and then that extra $400 you're putting to the side, you're building it up, building it up. Right. And then you could go purchase a property. Right. But you know, a lot of people have too much pride, I guess, that you know, they don't want to go work from the ground up. But a lot of communities are doing that. That's what they like. I've seen it, man. I've seen people. Even my next door neighbor, he told me that like, he was in a basement apartment for 10 years, right? 1-bedroom basement apartment for 10 years. 2017, he bought a business. He owns the place they do flooring. I forgot what it's called, but a flooring company, right? So he bought a company. He was still living in the basement. Right. And then for 3 years, he's had the business established, everything. He's seen a good amount coming in. You know, he started saving. And then boom, 2000, you know, he bought his first home. Right. So it's like, yeah, you got
the good old days. You said that's in 2000, right? The good old days.
The good old days.
No, sorry. No. It wasn't 2000. Sorry about that. Was it
2017, right?
2017.
Yeah. I figured.
But that's an important message, though, right? First of all, keep your eye on your goal, right?
Right.
And you know, you keep that as your focus and where you want to go, and you know, do what you need to do to make that happen, right? So if you need to give up a little bit of your today, and that's what we all need to get better at, is you know, trading some today for tomorrow, right? Instead of trading tomorrow for today. Right. So
comfortably yourself now.
Exactly. Like, you know, be willing to sacrifice a bit for the gains of tomorrow. Right. So that's a lesson that we generally need to work on. And, you know, and I understand why we struggle with that. I mean, there's a lot that we've been through, and tomorrow's not guaranteed. So, you know, you live in the today, but you know, that's where we really need to stretch ourselves to do that. And that's how we can take advantage of all of those opportunities that are available to help us to build wealth. So Richard, that was awesome. Thank you so much for this insight that you shared to help to round out our conversation.
You know, let me also say this just before we end off here too. I know it's not Black History Month. We did that in February, but once again, we're faced with a situation in our society, in our world, but you know, we're dealing with mainly North America here, specifically Canada, where Black folks are under pressure, right? The pandemic comes, right? And we're already facing some challenges with the housing. And now we have these exorbitant prices as far as trying to become a homeowner or even to rent. And you all, right, are in the thick of it. You're not just individuals who are, you know, doing something for the sake of doing a business. I based on the conversation I hear with, of course, you're involved too, Richard, but Billy and Keisha, you're like motivators. you're encouraging people. You're letting them know, no, there is hope. It's possible, and you're
Exactly.
constantly trying to help them to figure out how to navigate and how to. It's just not just listening to it and just.
Yeah. Because once again, I mean, you with anything in life, you have to position yourself, right? And it's so easy to kind of throw in the towel and say, you know, I'll never be a homeowner. But no, right? Position. There are things that are constantly changing, and you don't want to be in a situation where something has changed in your favor, and because you threw in that towel, you can't take that opportunity.
Exactly.
Right?
You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. And if there's one thing, like I was saying, like I've, you know, kind of even watching the craziness happening south of the border, the one big lesson that I've seen, honestly, I watch these Republicans. They make decisions and they make strategies that are multi-generational. So we need to start thinking long term. Be patient. They had an idea of a strategy that they wanted to execute, and it took decades. And now they're bearing the fruit. No one's happy with the fruit, but they're bearing the fruit of diligent, consistent focus on their multi-generational dream. And that's what we need to learn from that. We need to be doing that. We need to be patient and look out. Do you know what I mean? Look far out about what the possibilities are, because it is possible. As Keisha said, don't throw in the towel. The opportunities are there. Be patient. Keep working. Keep focused. As Richard said, you know, sacrifice a bit today for that dream tomorrow, right? Take that basement apartment. If it's going to help you to provide cash flow to build for your tomorrow, we need to move to that. So yeah.
Thank you for saying that, and I just want to double down on that too, right? Like the basement apartment thing, or whatever it is, like whatever situation we're in, you know, we have to be grateful in our presence, right?
Yes.
You know, and appreciate, you know, what it is that we have in our presence, because, you know, as we do that, then doors open, you know, because it's showing that, you know, we're grateful with what we have. Like that's something that's so key. Of course, we're on here, we're out, we want this, want that, but you know, yes, of course, you want to be motivated and you know, to go and get something out, because we're always growing. We have that in us, but you know, definitely make sure that we have that time to be appreciative in our presence. You know.
Yeah. Good point.
All right, folks. It is a few minutes after 2. Keisha has to go, and you know, we've got time. But and Billy is a busy person too. I hear Richard's phone ringing.
Say gotta go too. Yeah.
It was ringing. So you know, we're gonna sign off until next time. So we are thankful for our audience. I know that there are some individuals, well, at least one individual that giving your shout outs, Keisha. Nicole Denton.
I saw that come through.
Yeah, Nicole.
Thank you. Yeah, but as you know, we're here. We're you know, what this is about. This whole program is about is bringing knowledge and opportunity to those in our community, right? And that's what we're here. We're here to serve, as Richard said. We are here to serve.
Yes.
You know, and as Wade would say, you know, making dollars of our cents. We're not just talking about the dollar itself, but we're talking about the cents as well, right? So we want to thank you, of course. You know, Richard answering to the call of service. We know that it was last minute, but of course you are ready and willing to, you know, to come on here and share your knowledge. And you know, we invite you, if you have any questions for Richard, his bio and everything is on the Dollars and Cents page, and contact information, all that stuff. Reach out to him, right, and gather that information so that he can help and assist you with your home purchase process. Yeah,
absolutely. And share. If you find this useful, share with others. Sharing is caring. So yes, definitely share this information so it can bless someone else as well.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you, Keisha, Billy Jane, Kenton. God bless you guys. And this is an amazing platform, you know, and that's what it is, what we need to do, and just have more platforms that are out there, you know, to extend the reach, you know, get it out there. So, yeah, thank you very much. I enjoyed my time here.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, everybody.
Until next time. See you later. See you next Thursday.